reading friends. It's Mrs. Davis, and we are together once again here at the Happy Place to Grow. I'm so glad you're joining me once again for another great story. And sad to say, it's going to be our final Eric Carle story, at least for now. We're going to be taking a break from our summer reading activities to start again. School's back in session. It's almost fall, so it's time for me to refocus on some phonics learning activities with our First in Phonics reading series. So I want you to join me for that, but have no fear. I'll be weaving in some fun stories throughout the fall and winter as well. I think you're going to enjoy this story today. It's going to take us through the 4 seasons: autumn, winter, spring, summer. Autumn is also called fall. And in today's Eric Carle story, The Tiny Seed, we're going to travel with one tiny seed as it takes its journey through an entire year, because there are 4 seasons in a year. So autumn, winter, spring, summer, repeat. You could start with winter, spring, summer, fall, repeat. Each season is about 3.5 months, give or take a few days. And so the seasons are going to be highlighted as this seed takes a journey. And in honor of seeds and seeds traveling, you know, the season of autumn and fall, there is a lot of seed journeys taking place. Flowers are dying, plants are dying, foods are being harvested, and inside of foods like fruits and vegetables, there are seeds contained in there. And so the seeds are what's left after the flower and the plant have grown all summer. I've got a little seed tray. I'm going to try to tilt it so we can see it. I love to, I'm a collector. I definitely collect seeds for sure. I like to look at all the different types of seeds, and sometimes I have been eating seeds and I didn't even know it, like this lima bean and this, I think this is a pinto bean, and pumpkin seed. Of course, this is an acorn. I'm not eating that. I love to go outside and find seeds in the season of fall, because I've noticed in the spring and the fall, you will see a lot of seeds making their way to the ground. And as they take their journey downward, it's keeping the life cycle of the plant actually alive, because the flower or plant may die, some do die, or rest, and then they leave their seeds. And I also was thinking about this the other day. There's a lot of bird activity and all of those seeds and squirrel activity around my neighborhood. And I was thinking about all the seeds that were falling. Now, I noticed when I went to the park the other day, there were acorns falling. And I was thinking about how wonderful nature is. As the plants and trees start losing their leaves, they're also losing their seeds, so that birds and squirrels can prep and prepare for the winter. We have an amazing earth that we live on. Let's travel together with a tiny seed as it takes its journey through the 4 seasons. The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. This one is kind of fallish and brownish and purplish and specklish. You know how, I bet you he took a paintbrush and just splattered it on that tissue paper. What do you think? Came out beautiful. And the story takes place, it begins for the tiny seed in the season of autumn or fall. It is autumn. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high into the air and carries them, can you see them traveling? Far across the land. And that's important because as those seeds spread out, they're going to have the potential to grow flowers in other places. Amazing. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? So this story starts with some questions. Will the tiny seed, I've got some seeds in here in my tray. I don't know if I could even show you. They're so tiny. This is a green pepper seed. Look how tiny that is compared to a peach pit. So some seeds are tiny. I don't know if you can see that or not. And some seeds are big. This seed is very big. Coconut. It's a seed. I love how Eric gives us some questions to think on. Will the seed be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? One of the seeds flies higher than the others. It's going way close to the sun. Up, up it goes. It flies too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. If there's too much heat, seeds can't grow properly. But the tiny seed sails on with the others, so he keeps on going. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. Wow, they're really traveling to some amazing places. The ice never melts and the seed cannot grow. You know, if it's too cold, seeds can't grow. Germination cannot take place. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. He's tiny. He's just taking his time. Now they fly over the ocean. Wow, what an amazing journey these seeds are taking. One seed falls into the water and drowns. Oh, that's sad. If seeds get too much water, they can't grow. They can't germinate and produce a plant. The others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. But it keeps going nonetheless. Just keep going. Just keep going. One seed drifts down into the desert. You know about the desert. It's very hot. Let's see what happens. Oh, it is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow because, you know, seeds need the right heat, but they also need moisture and water to be able to grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. That's a good thing. It's amazing that seeds can travel to a lot of different places by the wind. They have to land in the right environment to be able to grow. That's kind of like us. We need to be in a good environment so we can grow and learn. Well, that's why I'm glad you're here in this environment with me, so you can grow and learn. Uh-oh. Finally, the wind stops, and the seed falls gently down to the ground. Oh, yikes. You know who likes seeds? Squirrels, animals, birds. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. It is so small that the bird does not see it. Sometimes it's good to be small, small and mighty. We have a season change. All that traveling, and now it's winter. Seeds don't grow in the winter. They rest. Let's see what happens now. It is winter. I like the snow up here. And then a layer of white. And then the ground. And you know, in the winter, animals are searching for food. There's a little mouse. He will eat seeds that are in the ground. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they're going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft, white blanket. Ooh, I love that wording. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch. Well, a mouse has got to eat too. But the tiny seed lies very still and the mouse does not see it. This seed is smart and tiny and mighty. Oh, autumn, winter. Now it's spring. Let's see what happens to the tiny seed in the season of spring. Spring is when seeds can really grow and germinate because there's the right amount of water and sunshine. Let's see what happens to the tiny seed now. It is spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by. It's just new life in spring. The sun shines. Rain falls. The seeds grow so round and full, they start to burst open a little. That's called germination. You know, inside every seed is a tiny plant waiting to pop out. With the right conditions, it can burst through the seed coat. That's the outer hard layer of a seed. Inside every seed is a tiny plant just waiting to grow. The seeds grow so round and full they start to burst open a little. Now they are not seeds anymore. They are plants. First, they send roots down into the earth. See those roots? This would be the acorn, and this part was underground. I found this in my yard last fall, and I collected it. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and air. There's another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. It is a big fat weed. It takes all the sunlight and the rain away from one of the new small plants, and that little plant dies. So, in the spring, lots of plants are growing. Some of them are beautiful flowers and some of them are weeds. Hey, but a weed's got to grow too. But if the location of the soil has so much growth, sometimes it crowds out the plants and some don't, they're not able to grow. So this guy right here is not able to grow because that weed is taking up so much light and space. It's kind of the life cycle of plants, right? Some will grow, some will develop, some won't grow, some won't develop. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late. Hurry! But finally, it too starts to grow into a plant. Hey, we can't give up on the little seed, right? That tiny seed. He's made a journey and now he is growing and it's not too late. We've got the sun and the rain and the soil, which has nutrition for the plants to be able to grow in just the right circumstances. So we're in the season of spring. Let's see what happens next. The warm weather also brings children out to play. I love to get out in the spring, don't you? It's fresh air, sunshine, not too cold, not too hot. They too have been waiting for the sun and springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along, and I love this illustration. Just a giant foot crunching a plant. The next time you're traveling through some flowers and plants, beware and be careful. Oh, he breaks one. Now it cannot grow anymore because if the stem of a flower or plant is broken, and that's the part that is in the ground, and through it, it's kind of like a straw. It brings nutrition and moisture up to the leaves. If the stem is broken, the plant can't receive moisture and food and nutrients, and so it can't grow anymore. It dies. So be careful when you're traveling through the grass and flowers this spring. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast. It will in the summer. I bet you that's the next season that's coming up. Let's see what happens now. But its neighbor grows faster, and before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, a bud. And now even a flower. So it's going to grow the root, and then the stem and the leaves, a tiny flower bud, and then the flower bud will open and form a beautiful blossom and bloom just wonderfully. But the tiny seed is still developing. It's okay. It'll get there. We have faith in it, don't we? Uh-oh. But what's happening? First there are footsteps. Oops. Then a shadow looms over them. Then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. I don't know about you, but I love to pick flowers. But I also think when I pick them, that's the end of their life cycle. But I think that's what they're there for, us to see their beauty and enjoy them. Some of them smell so sweet. We just want to bring them in our house or give them to someone we care about. Let's see where the hand is taking the flower. Oh, this is sweet. I love this. A boy has picked the flower to give to a friend. Oh, isn't that sweet? I love to get a flower from a special friend, and sometimes I even buy myself flowers because I just enjoy their beauty. They make me happy. They're so just happy and friendly. We went through autumn, winter, that was the resting time, spring, growing, now summer. Let's see what happens to our tiny plant, not a seed anymore, in the season of summer. It is summer. Wow, look at that flower. Do you think that's the tiny seed that we watched travel all across the land? Amazing. Let's see what happens in the summer. It is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and it doesn't stop. You know, if you're in the right environment, you can grow. That can be your success. If you're around the right family, friends, teachers, helpers, just like this tiny seed, you're in the right soil, in the right location, getting enough sun and enough rain, and nobody comes by and picks you, you can grow to a very beautifully tall flower. The sun shines on it and rain waters it. It has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It is taller than the people. It is taller than the trees. Wow. That's a really amazing growth, isn't it? It's taller than the houses, and now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. Do you think a flower could actually grow that tall? I don't think so, but there are some flowers, like sunflowers, that do grow very tall in the season of summer. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. Have you ever seen a giant sunflower? They don't grow that tall, but they do grow very tall. Sometimes they grow taller than people. If you get a chance this fall, maybe you can find a sunflower farm and take a look at the beautiful sunflowers. All summer long, the birds and the bees and the butterflies come visiting. Happy sun. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. They're amazed by it. I would be too. Look at these cute and colorful birds. There's some butterflies. Just a happy page, isn't it? Uh-oh. Autumn, winter, spring, summer, and we've traveled a year because now we're back to autumn. Let's see what happens to the not so tiny plant now. Uh-oh, notice the wind is blowing. The petals are starting to fly off of the flower. Now it is autumn again. The days grow shorter. The earth is tilting away from the sun on the side of the earth that's getting fall. So the days we're going to have less daylight in autumn. The nights grow cooler because the earth is tilted away from the sun just enough. So we don't have as much warmth. And the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop from the giant flower and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. The season of fall is very colorful. But the sad thing is, if you blink, all of those colors will be gone in a quick second. So don't forget to enjoy the beauty of the season of fall. Oh no! Look what's happening to the not so tiny seed plant. You think it's dying? It's dying, but what's happening? It's sending new life throughout the land to keep the life cycle of the plant going on. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and it bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. And it goes the way of all flowers. Once more the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pod opens. That happens in the season of fall. We talked about that a little bit before we read the story. The seeds are going to be traveling to different locations, fall to the ground. Some won't be able to survive, but some will. And in the season of spring, they'll grow and keep the life cycle of the flower going. Out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away on the wind. So that journey will start over again. I'm so glad to know that even though it looks like things are starting to fade and flowers are dying and drying up, in the season of winter, they're resting. All the seeds are resting. You know, not all plants, some don't die. Some are evergreens and stay green in the winter. But a lot of plants will lose their petals, their leaves, and in the fall, the seeds will drop below. Sometimes animals carry them. Sometimes water carries them away, or air or people, right? So they can travel in different ways, resting in the winter, waiting for the spring, because in the winter it's too cold. There's not enough light or heat. But in the spring, the sun, the earth is tilting more toward the sun. So we have more daylight, more warmth, have some rain, fresh air. And if a seed is in the right location, it will start to germinate. And I love how this book let us know that it wasn't a tiny seed anymore. First it was a tiny plant, and then it was a giant flower to be enjoyed and appreciated by all those that came, whether it was an animal or a human. That was such a cute story. I just had to share this one last story with you. This is not the last Eric Carle story. You know, there were over 70 of them. But this will be it for us for now. I've really enjoyed exploring Eric Carle books and artwork with you. And I've enjoyed learning about plants and seeds from this wonderful story, The Tiny Seed. So maybe you can do some exploring this fall, because at the end of September, around September 20th or 21st, it's going to be the first day of autumn. Summer is fading. We're going into the next season of autumn, and lots of seeds will be around. Maybe you can go on a seed hunt and collect some maple seeds, some pine cones. Trying to pull one of the pine cone seeds off. I've got a collection here of dried flowers that I have just put in a bag over time. And you could get a magnifying glass and look up close. I always used to do this with my students in class. We'd get a little tray, get our seed collections, pick up the seeds of various sizes and put them in our palm of our hand, and then look very close at seeds with a magnifying glass. That will be a good fun activity. And I always love to show them this, coconut. A coconut's a seed. You know how this one travels? Not by the wind, by the water. Yeah, sailing in the water. It might land from one island to another and grow a palm tree. Seeds are fun to explore and fun to collect. So this fall, get out and enjoy the cool air and spy for some seeds, make your collections, and don't forget to keep reading, whether it is spring, summer, autumn, or winter. You've got to keep on reading. Now, I want you to join me, because our next couple sessions, I said that we were kind of inspired by Eric Carle's art and writing. And I'd like to take you on a little mini series where we're going to explore some writing. And I'm going to walk you through a couple little sessions of writing workshop so you can be an author and illustrator and practice your skills like Eric Carle. I'll give you some quick tips. So we'll do that together, and then we'll get back to work with our first in phonics so that we can continue learning about sounds that letters make, putting the sounds together, and being able to read words effectively by using strategies to help us remember and read words. All right, learners and readers, I have enjoyed our time of stories with author and illustrator Eric Carle. You have been a great participant, and I have enjoyed our sessions. All right, until our next time together, as always, keep reading and have